So, last time, Lirim, Aria, and Alea went out on a job to figure out what exactly was occurring on the outskirts of town. The Adventure Guild's master, Eric Earl, had notified them that a child was found, one-eyed, and for some reason, Alea knew what the child's eye would be colored, green. Apparently, Alea had seen this child in a dream, with many other figures relating to Dr. Ocular. So, Alea, Aria, and Lirim split up from the rest of the party and headed out. Something occurred along the journey, but they don't recall it entirely. Nonetheless, they pushed on, finding the homestead. There they met a couple, a tiefling by the name of Eliz and a half-orc by the name of Georgie that seemingly have taken in this odd individual that goes by Zero. Zero was no more than 4 feet tall. He has a bulbous head, an eye that takes up the entirety of it, no nose, a jaw and mouth that is larger than you've seen on any person, let alone a child at that. And you saw 2 eye stalks coming from under his shirt, peering out, and 2 coming from the top of his shirt, peering out. So, the scene would currently be Eliz has called out Zero, just to describe where you are standing. You are standing in a very modest home. 1 story and maybe 4, 5 rooms at most. You're currently in the living space. A fairly, again, small Zero. His hair looking as though it's just coming in, just growing. As though he had received a buzz cut or was well bald before. Has come out to meet you all. He would be wearing a relatively plain shirt, in the sense that there's not a lot of color to it. It looks as though it was made up of various cottons. It's very patchwork as well. They seem like hand-me-downs. But nonetheless, he would look up at you all expectingly with his bright green, vibrant color-shifting eye. And let me go ahead and put him down. Go ahead. I will show the character art then. Every time he looks at you, this is the eye you see staring back. Its shape odd. The pupil itself has an extension to it. It's like a dumbbell is sitting across his cat-like iris, or not iris, pupil. But he seemingly would just stare, expectingly. Aria is mortified. Well, how does Lirim and Alea look?
Honestly, the first thing Lirim would do was probably crouch to his level.
All the eyes would be staring at you. What is Alea doing? What is their reaction like?
Alea, like the moment that the child walked out, her face kind of drops before she kind of like takes a big deep breath in and out and like kind of gets down to Zero's level as well with Lirim.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you hungry?
Are you hungry?
You see it nod. They nod their head yes.
Lirim would reach into their pouch and take out the last cinnamon bun that they kind of hid away when they found out they were going to talk to a kid, and press a digitation at warm and hand it out to him.
You would see one of the eye stalks would begin to peer out, and with telekinetic abilities, lift it up and put it in his mouth, and you'd see he would simply swallow it without chewing, and he'd begin to cough. And you would hear the tiefling woman say, Zero, you need to... Oh, that's not her voice. Zero, you need to chew your food before you eat it. And you'd see he'd cough. Eventually he'd get it down. What do we say, Zero?
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Zero, we've heard that you've been having nightmares.
Nightmares.
You'd see he'd shiver in fright. See, Liz would stand up, the tiefling woman, and she'd approach. The poor boy has been talking sometimes about this Dr. Ocular, saying some strange things about how he's scared out of his wits and that he never wanted to be what he is.
I never wanted to be what I am.
It's all very odd. Do you know what he is?
No.
Say, I have some idea.
Okay.
For now, may I have a moment to speak with my colleagues in private, Miss Liz? Of course, y'all, take your time. Come on, Zero, help me clean some dishes.
Dishes.
And he kind of begrins and drags his feet. And you would see as he drags his feet, he no longer steps, but he hovers slowly to the sink in the kitchen. As you'd see, he has the ability to float strangely. And Aria is making a motion for you guys to step outside real quick.
What?
Okay, so obviously, I'm all about helping kids. That's a fucking beholder. That is a monster written stories about from the dwarves, about their immense power.
He's not a beholder.
He has a giant head and eye stalks.
I understand that concern. But what he is saying that are in these dreams is what I saw. Maybe he might be able to know more than what I knew from what I saw in those. There were 2 other people there, and I need to know if he saw them too.
Don't you remember you could be working with those 3 figures you saw with the whole investigating or when you summoned your echo?
Yes, but
He's a child. Do you really think he's plotting?
he seems
Yes.
confused. He seems confused, and
One of the stories that I saw, beholders predict everything. The only way the dwarves were able to defeat them was through mirrors and illusions of trickery with light and smoke. He perhaps is more intelligent than he seems. I don't know. I'm just saying we need to be careful.
We will be careful.
Right. And we know nothing of beholders. We know they are otherworldly. That's it. And that they are also usually narcissistic tyrants from the dwarves and tales.
Okay. So, Aria, I appreciate that. Why don't we go back in, get a little bit more information?
Right. Let's just try and tread carefully.
We will.
All right. That you guys would head back inside. You would see Zero would be washing dishes with his hands and just be kind of floating next to Liz. And Liz is kind of smiling and chatting with them. And you'd be able to hear a little bit of their conversation. They seem cordial with each other. There's no tension. She doesn't seem to look at him with you're something other than a child. She looks at him like, you're a kid. Immediately, as you come in again, both their heads would turn towards you. Liz would say, "Do you folks want to talk with me first, or it's okay if you want to keep talking to Zero?"
I actually would like to talk with Zero if that's okay.
By all means, go on, Zero. I'll handle these dishes.
Okay. Thank you.
Good boy. Pat him on the head, and you'd see he'd float up to Alea, his eye examining you. The eye stalks as he examined you would look over at Lirim and Aria.
And she'd
Hello.
hello. And she'd get down to his level.
They'd float down with you.
Zero,
Zero.
do you see anything or anyone else in these dreams of yours, these terrors?
Dr. Ocular.
Shivers.
Anyone other than him?
I see zero. And zero.
A mirror?
And you see it looks confused.
Mirror.
Is Liz listening?
I know she's just doing the dishes. Just keeping to herself.
A woman with pale skin?
No.
A hooded figure. Things
Zero.
moving under the hood.
Zero.
They kind of raise their arms up with excitement.
Hmm.
Music.
Music.
Mm.
The guitar.
What?
Kind of look confused.
The instrument.
He has a guitar. Metal.
Right, it did look funny. Okay. Do they play music for you?
I played music.
You play the music.
I am zero.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Do you only feel fear in these dreams?
No.
Okay. Hmm. She kind of looks back at Lirim and Aria.
Um, do you like to draw?
Yes.
Perhaps could you draw some of the better dreams you have, or the not scary parts?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be lovely. And they'd sit crisscross applesauce on the floor across from him. And I believe I have paper in my inventory. Well, I have a forgery kit which has paper in it. That's fine. I would just take out a sheet of paper and take out any colors I might have in the forgery kit and let him use them to his heart's content.
Okay. This is a child. So
Yes.
Their artistry skills aren't the best. You would see they draw with both their hand and their eye stalk, their telekinetic eye stalk.
Mm-hmm.
What you're able to make out is you see they draw a guitar, and not a normal guitar, a rock guitar, red, almost electric, an electric guitar. Something that you and Lirim aren't familiar with, but Aria is, and she'd inform you as such.
Does Alea recognize it?
Yes, it is the
Mhm.
one on the hooded figure's back. You would see they draw him, but bigger,
Mm-hmm.
playing it, and they draw a much smaller version of himself. What you assume is Zero.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see he draws a third figure, a spider with a thorax, which has an eye on it.
Oh no.
And you'd see he draws occasionally flowers and different things. He draws a lot, but those things are the ones that are the most prevalent.
Zero, you are such a good artist.
Artist.
These are very pretty. Would you like? And they'd kind of push over a sheet that's mainly flowers and non-nightmare material. Would you like to show this to her and point?
Mm.
They immediately would float over to Liz. Liz would say, "Oh, you're so good, sweetie. You tell him how often you dream?"
Dream, no.
Liz would turn, "He dreams every night, and it's always vivid, apparently."
Every night.
Do you have control in these dreams? Like, can you interact with them, or do you just kind of sit and watch?
Watch.
You watch? Okay.
Yeah. Friend?
Friend?
See friend?
Who's your friend?
Follow.
Liz would
Okay.
shake her head. "Oh, one of y'all for a second?"
Hmm.
Um,
Leo would go there.
she'd whisper to you, "He has an imaginary friend. He calls it Spider with an Eye. There's a cobweb in his room, and we tried to take it down at one point, and he got upset, so... And also, his room's not in the best shape. We're trying to get it better. It's just, again, we found him on the side of the road. We took him in, and he was naked. The poor thing."
Has he told you at all where he might be from?
No. It was really hard to talk to him for a while. Just repeated what we said back to him. Kept saying his name was Zero, though.
Mm.
That wanted to... That he wasn't a monster, and he was... didn't like this Dr. Ocular fella. We didn't know what he was, and then we heard what happened, and apparently, Georgie saw Dr. Ocular at some point.
Hmm.
With how much Zero talks about it, it's hard to say if my husband just was working too hard that day and just saw something that was never there.
Okay. Thank you, Liz. If it's okay, we won't judge anything about the state of his room. We understand.
All right. Thank y'all.
She'd walk back in.
You'd walk back in, and Lirim and Aria would be the first to see. The room is in a bit of a state. There is a window to the outside. It is open. There are shutters, and the window itself looks very shoddily put together. Like there wasn't really glass there before or anything. You see the bed is well tended to. There are patches in which floorboard is missing. There is a chest with some clothes in it and a toy, but that's it. It's a little dusty, a little dirty, but nothing too bad. You do see a cobweb in the corner, and he immediately floats up to it, staring at the cobweb, and he points to it.
Friend.
What's your friend's name?
Roundy.
Okay. You know, I have a friend too.
They stare.
Would you like to meet her?
Yeah.
Just kind of look over Lirim. Make sure Liz isn't coming in.
They'd shuffle back so that their back was kind of pressed up against the door frame.
Okay.
She'll call on her echo.
It would begin to form, and immediately he's afraid. And he's
Oh.
cowering in the corner.
No,
It's
Monster.
okay.
No. Friend.
Roll
She's
persuasion.
a friend. Oh, good.
See if they'd form.
Oh, no.
Monster.
Okay,
And
okay,
immediately
okay.
they would shoot a ray at the
Also
echo.
roll it under Alea because they share stats. Oh, no. That's not gonna...
It would shoot past.
No.
And it makes a pretty loud noise, and he continues to cower.
Dismiss.
The echo would go back. Immediately, you'd hear, "What's
Uh,
going on in there?"
He got spooked.
It's
okay.
It's okay, Zero. No worries. They're just here to help.
Monster.
You ain't sleeping. There's no monsters. I promise you. They're adventurers. They're good people.
Okay.
Lirim would sit back on the floor.
Zero, did you see that creature in a dream?
No. Seen dark shapes though. Eyes
Dark shape?
watching. I don't like them. They're bad.
They
Tell-
won't hurt you.
They tell me to do.
What do they tell you to do?
Learn stuff. And go down. But I don't wanna.
Go down where, Zero?
They point downwards. Aria would whisper, "So from underground, deep, yeah."
You don't have to do anything you don't want to. Okay.
That's why I don't listen.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Zero.
Thank you, Zero.
Georgie says, or apparently saw Dr. Ocular at some point if we want to talk with him.
That would probably be wise.
Dr. Ocular.
He shivers.
It's okay. Not
He-
here.
He made me this. But
He's gone.
he made Zero this.
I don't know. Zero, where did you come from?
See, they actually genuinely think on it.
I wanted to find E, but I couldn't. I was born in wheat. It's how I think it was the same way I made Roundy.
Look at the cobweb.
Okay.
Because you dream so vividly every night.
I dreamed myself as a spider with an eye. Or I dreamt of a spider with an eye. I don't know.
And then Roundy showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he's good though. He eats the bugs.
Mm-hmm. You're good too.
You're good too. Will you stop him?
Dr. Ocular?
Dr. Ocular.
He shivers.
We already did. He's dead.
No, he's not. He's at my window every night.
Hmm. Kind of pat him on the head. It's okay. He can't hurt you. Wherever he is, it's far away from here.
Far away from here. Do you have dreams too?
I do. With Dr. Ocular. But he's not in my window. He's far away.
Do you know the nice one?
The nice one?
He watches, but he talks nice. He has a dead fish for a head.
Ah. I don't think I know them too personally.
Okay.
You know his name?
No,
Hmm.
he has 2 eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to meet Roundy?
I would love to meet Roundy.
Do you have anything like a dead bug or something?
Hmm. No, but I'm sure we could find one.
Okay.
Okay.
Gonna look for a bug in the room.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for
Sure.
a bug in the room.
Roll investigation.
I'm fully committed to this child.
Aria's helping.
Okay. Oh, hell
Okay.
yeah. Bug time. Alea finds the best bug.
Lirim, you find a fly, and Alea, you find a roach.
No, can we switch?
Sure. You find a fly, Lirim, you find a roach.
So first of all, I'm gonna roll a ranged attack roll against the roach.
Okay. You're gonna
Actually, I
kill
need
it?
the roach.
So
I need the roach to make me a con save.
Oh my god.
So I would say you would go and cast this spell.
And Zero goes, no,
No?
it's okay.
And you would do a telekinetic ray on the roach. And he would begin to lift it as you would see it would struggle in the air. He would carry it to the web. And once it struggles in the web, suddenly coming into view, you would see an eye opening in the web. And that eye is on the back of a spider. Immediately, the spider would move towards the roach, wrap it in webbing, bring it up deeper inside the web, and then you would see the eye close and the spider turns invisible.
Oh, Roundy.
That's Roundy.
Mm.
So, let's go talk to Georgie, maybe.
Sure.
One more moment. Zero, your eye is so pretty. How many of them do you have?
5.
5? 5 whole eyes?
Yeah.
I only have 2. I'm so jealous.
I don't know why I lost some, or if I had more.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for telling me.
Of course. How many eyes do you have?
Oh, just 2.
That's okay.
Thank you. Well, we're going to be right back, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna go help Liz.
He floats out the door to Elias. Yeah,
Well,
Georgie.
yeah.
Ari would say, "All right, let's talk again.
Okay.
So let's discuss what we've learned.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Ocula appears in the window at night,
Right.
apparently.
Correct.
This Georgie fellow seen him at some point.
Right.
He dreams of figures. One of them with 2 eyes is nice.
With the fish head.
It's the same
Yes.
as what I've seen.
Okay.
The second figure is a naked woman, pale skinned. I don't know if they have a face or not.
Slightly terrifying, but all right.
Oh, and their hands have mouths.
Even more terrifying.
Okay.
What slightly scares me is that his dreams can become reality.
Well, beholders are based in dreams, aren't they?
Are they? There is such little information on beholders that there's little is known about them, including their history. So assume your characters know jack shit.
Never mind. I feel like the person controlling me might know that, but I don't.
I'm sorry.
I don't think there was a window in my dream. There was a mirror.
Hmm.
It
So what
doesn't
he
seem-
dreams manifests itself.
Right, but
Apparently.
he doesn't seem to recognize me or the Echo.
Dr. Ocula, was his family not plagued by dreams? Wasn't that a thing?
Yes, they had nightmares of eyes.
Right.
In the dream, Dr. Ocular was cowering, begging for them to stop watching him.
Hmm. And maybe these eyes have been watching Zero as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another thing, he drew 2 versions of himself, one an adult, another a child.
Right.
When I saw him, he was a child.
But
So I don't
perhaps
know.
wait, he drew himself with a guitar, and one of the hooded figures had the same guitar.
Right.
Perhaps there's 2 zeros then.
Okay.
Hooded figure. So like a time thing?
Say again? Time
Like-
thing?
Like, I don't know, like, how can you both a young version of yourself and an old version of yourself?
Aria, how many eye stalks do beholders have?
I think 8 usually. So
8.
I don't know whether this is a situation of a. Wait a second.
Because he had 4.
The Dr. Oculus said what he did, he completed. That we were too late.
Right.
The drawings we saw, it was of an adult mixture, a human and a beholder mixed together.
Right.
Perhaps that's this Zero?
And what were the 3 fish?
Perhaps the thing's watching Dr. Ocula.
The more we try to piece together, the less I understand.
I don't know.
You're telling me, and I was in the dreams.
Again,
Thank
dreams.
you for telling us about that, by the way. Please, next time you have creepy prophetic
I-
dreams, tell
Again,
us.
things would happen like right after the dream, and it would kind of get pushed aside because it's just a dream. And when it happens twice in a row, then it starts to get your attention.
All right. Let's talk to Georgie. Maybe
Okay.
we can learn more from him.
Fine, let's go.
Right. That you make your way out, and you'd see he would be taking a break, drinking some water. You go, hey,
What can I do for you, you three fine folk?
We talked with Zero on his dreams now. He thinks that Dr. Ocular appears in the window.
Yeah, I saw him there once. Though again, my wife had a point after working day in and day out and waking up late in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. Every time the kid's asleep, I swear I see something in the corner of my eye. As crazy as that might sound. I don't know.
What was Dr. Ocular doing when you thought you saw him?
Just as the kid says, watching him from the window.
Hmm.
He's a gaunt fella. Green eyes, curly hair. He had these weird set of glasses to him. He had a lab coat too.
That
When we heard...
cannot be
Mhm.
the same Ocular.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe it's a copycat? Or maybe you guys got the wrong guy.
Even so, those specific glasses you're mentioning, we own them.
Maybe he has two pairs. Listen, I don't know what happened with whatever was going on, but Zero says he sees him. Also, do you know what he is?
He's a child who has nightmares.
I mean, no offense, yeah. I don't agree he's a kid, but... Mouth of a lion, man. He has eye stalks coming on his back. He has telekinetic powers, can float. I mean... I know magic and but I don't know.
I am not the most well versed when it comes to the creatures of the world, but for sure this child has magical capabilities, natural ones, and that can be dangerous.
I know it's cruel to say, but I don't want to be raising a wolf. If you get my meaning.
You've spoken to him. Does he have free will?
Yeah, but I don't know. He's intimidating, if you don't mind me saying. I'm a big guy and I don't want to know what it's like being in those jaws.
He's afraid. With comfort, I'm sure he'll be able to overcome those fears and continue to stand up for himself like he is now.
Yeah. He was bald when we found him. Made him look even more creepy. But I think with a full hair of head, he'll look more natural.
Noah, was the child bald in the dream?
No. He had
No.
a bit of hair to him.
What the fuck?
As the same amount of hair that he has now, I should say.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
How would you rank the resemblance to Dr. Ocular on a scale of 1 to 10?
From 0?
Yeah.
Very little. Even though he has
Oh,
a
God.
green eye, the facial structure is so different.
Okay.
It's a different fella.
Was concerned. Fantastic.
It's okay.
Okay. I don't know if there's much we can do here now, if I'm being honest, Georgie.
Stay the night at least. Put the kid at
Yeah.
ease.
We will.
It'd be nice to know that you got some experienced people watching over you, and even if it's all fake, just say you scared away Dr. Ocular and then
We will. And do be a bit wary. Sometimes, because he has these natural magic capabilities, some things that he dreams can actually manifest. Much like a conjuration wizard can manifest things from nothing.
You're joking, right?
No.
You might have been seeing shadows of dreams.
Wait, you said things can become real from his dreams?
Yes, like Roundy.
Roundy's real?
Yes.
Well, what if he dreams me dead?
He won't do that. It's, like I said, like a conjuration wizard. It can will things into existence, not events to occur.
Can he control his dreams? What if he dreams of a mass murderer?
He can.
He can control his dreams.
The only thing that's manifested is Roundy.
That's the only thing that's manifested and stayed.
Christ.
His friend. He's a good kid.
I just don't want my wife to be in danger. That's all I care about. And if this kid is a danger to Liz, I don't want him around. That's all I really want to know. I get it, and he's a good kid, but I don't want to put her at risk.
I understand that, but he cares for her. He's appreciative of the both of you, I'm sure. And like you said, we're here for tonight, watching over all of you, not just him.
All right.
Maybe staying the night, we can really see what this sort of manifestation power actually extends to.
All right. Please do. And
Okay.
I'm sorry for being so uppity. I know he's a kid, but
You're concerned for your wife. We understand.
thank you. That. What are you guys doing next?
Okay. What's our plan for tonight? Kind of pulling Lirim and Aria off to the side.
Okay. So, well, perhaps we should take turns keeping watch.
I'm wondering if I can try and enter back into the dream I had.
And
If you
seek them
sleep,
out.
I'll watch over you.
I don't know. Just like, you know how like when you think of something really hard right before falling asleep and then you dream of that sometimes?
I mean,
I'm the wrong person to ask.
Oh, fuck, right.
I've seen that before, but I haven't experienced it.
I don't know if it's even an actual thing. It's something worth trying.
Well, all I'm going to say is we should have, once we're done here, someone from the Adventurers Guild to keep watch of this place in case something bad does happen or something bad does manifest.
Sure. I can agree with that.
An experienced adventurer, someone who wouldn't
Run.
immediately lose their shit and
Yeah.
run, yeah, or
Off
hurt
the
him.
side of the children. Yeah, of a child, I mean.
We'll also have to tell the girl that this child, he's part beholder.
There's something more to this, but we're just missing so many pieces. Doesn't make sense. What was it? What was Dr. Ocular's prophecy? The thing that he spouted out right before.
He said, and Lirim would pick up their journal and begin flipping through it. I've seen the future. When the fish of the sky fall and the great tree tumbles, the city will burn alight, all sense gone. Madness will reign. To the lands far off, a city of selfishness will reign. The dead rise again. Be warned, the sky will fall, heads will roll, starting with mine.
The dead rise again.
What was that? Fish falling out of the sky, and then what was it?
The fish
great
fall from the sky
tree.
and the great tree tumbles.
The great tree
grove.
must be the grove tree, the world tree, but
Wait a minute.
what?
A great tree, you're saying might be the grove.
Maybe.
Right.
I know a city of selfishness.
That being?
The plutocracy. Greed.
I guess so, you're right.
Grove. The grove and plutocracy.
What the hell does fish falling out of the sky
No.
mean?
There were the three fish. in the dream, and he said something about 3 fish too before we turned him in. I thought at least.
Fish. From the well, right?
Yeah, my dad was there. I chased after him, and it led me to a well, and I pulled the fish out of the well.
Hey,
What?
why did you pull the fish out of the well?
Because I thought there was someone down there, and
What? Okay, what did you hear from the well? Was people talking to...
it's been a while since I had this dream.
Take your time.
And what were these 3 fish like? Were they just fish?
There are 3 people. The man with the fish head, adult 0.
There's a lot of 3s going on.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. There was... Okay, let's separate this. There was 3 figures you saw first. You saw a hooded man, a woman that was extremely pale, hair covering her face, and you saw the child. Then you saw another 3 figures, right? So there's 3 3s. Oh no, 2 3s.
No, just those 3 figures.
It was only those 2?
Where did Fishhead Man come from?
Where did Fishman it come from? That. What
These are
lives?
dreams, guys.
I know you probably don't remember a lot of them, but maybe you should start writing some of this down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have a journal right next to me when I wake up.
I'll get you
I
one.
do. Yeah.
Listen.
Were there more figures?
There were.
Gasping. Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
The
I listened.
the 3 figures that were shadowy outlines, they had multiple eyes. One had one big one with
Yeah.
eight small ones around it. One had
Yeah.
a center one with several other small ones
I'm
around
combining 3 figures.
it.
Oh.
You're combining. You're
Combining-
the
I'm combining
3
descriptions.
the 2 3 figures. I mean, it's a dream, so it makes sense.
Yeah, no. Oh my god. Okay. This was also so long ago.
Okay, so 3s. We're working in 3s.
Working in 3s.
Well, 2 3s. Maybe there's another 3 3s.
It's still 3s.
Yes. So there's hooded with guitar, lady, and 0. But 0 also might be the hooded figure with the guitar.
Right.
And then there was the 3 other figures that investigated or examined the echo. And one of them has a dead fish head, and apparently 0 says they're okay.
And again, the prophecy, that thing he said that he's seen the future. And then 0 paints a picture of himself young, and another one as himself older. So this idea of seeing more than what is right now.
I don't understand.
We're trying to understand the madness.
The sky will fall. What is it?
I don't know if that references the Lady of the Night's attack.
Alright, what are things
think
that are
something
shaped
there.
like fish that are in the sky?
How many airships was she bringing?
Who?
The Lady of the Night. How many airships?
I don't think this has anything to do with
I don't think
her.
it's having to do with her either. Airships are what I can think of
Right.
because they swim through air currents.
And it's a
I
ship.
suppose-
Sure.
Birds.
She said it was like 2 or 3, right? It was like
4.
4.
Actually, no.
Yeah, 4.
No, it is
Oh.
4. It's 4. It's 4.
Oh, okay.
Me doing math.
Enter
Musketeers.
west, northeast. I got it.
Emma. Emma.
My notes make sense as I write them. They don't make as much sense when I look back, which is how Alea's mind works, so it's fine.
Okay. The Great Tree. We know what the Great Tree is.
Mm-hmm.
So, when the Lady of the Night does her attack, the great tree from all the way to the grove will tumble?
I don't think that's it.
Don't think it ties with her. She might be a catalyst for causing madness and chaos in societies if her plan even works, but I don't think this is.
Why was Xander at the Grove to begin with?
I have no idea.
Xander?
Xander was at the Grove. Why was he at the Grove? What was he discussing with them?
I don't know. Kara never shared that with
I
us.
recall it was two groups, I think Tabaxi and Orc, that were disputing over something. A grove of fruit. They wanted to eat the fruit and they were fighting over it, but he was able to do something? Amends? Something? I don't remember.
Do you think that argument could have maybe led to the tree collapsing?
No way. Two groups fighting will lead. That tree is wider than probably some sections of countries.
I don't know, like one thing leading to another thing kind of idea. Not specifically those two groups.
Okay. Let's table this for now. Clearly, we're not thinking right, or whatever we're trying to think of, we don't have all the pieces.
We need to see what happens tonight.
Exactly.
But we can't do anything until then. We just have to wait.
All right. Suppose lie in wait. That doesn't take too long for nightfall to come, say. But as it does, is there anything you guys would like to do before night falls?
I'd like to check out around, like, where his window is from the outside.
Okay. Roll investigation.
Ooh. Why can't I intimidate the windowsill?
I mean, there's a lot of dirt, there's different things, but nothing immediately jumps out at you.
You're just gonna kind of stand there for a little bit. When looking, like, standing and facing the window, do I see, like, the full room, or?
You were able to see the door, the bed, or specifically part of the bed. The bed is kind of up against the wall to the window, so you'd be able to see the person's feet and kind of half of their body, and that's about it.
Doesn't even make any sense. She's kind of walk away.
And how is he seeing him from the
Yeah.
Perspective is a nifty thing.
Okay.
Harry would say, he'd probably never see them from the window then. Also, he would never see them at all. He's dreaming. He's not awake.
See him from the window.
I'm going to go ahead and cast Detect Magic once he falls asleep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Night would eventually come. The family would provide you a meal.
Oh.
You would see Zero would have assisted in the making of the meal.
Oh.
Though it is mostly Liz's cooking. And it's a very rustic meal. It's a lot of grilled corn and a lot of bread and butter. And there's a lot of small talk, a lot of conversations saying like, no, a noble eats like this, and they do kind of silly poses as they eat. And they laugh.
Immediately there we go. You're correct.
You would see Zero would be eating corn normally. I would say Liz would tease him and saying the first time he ate a piece of corn, he just bit into the thing.
Oh, buddy.
The whole thing. Zero is He's able to hold some conversation, but he repeats a lot of what is said to him.
Mhm.
But eventually night would come. They'd sleep in their room. They'd encourage you to sleep in the living room if need be, or outside. They'd provide you lanterns as well.
Okay.
But the couple would head to bed. Is there anything you'd like to say to Zero before he falls asleep? Yes,
Is he all tucked in?
he would be tucked in immediately.
Okay. Do you need anything before you go to bed?
No.
No story, no song. You just fall right to sleep.
No, Dr. Ocular.
No, Dr. Ocular. We'll do our best, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sleep tight.
Okay.
Okay.
Fall a slumber. As he sleeps, the large eye closes, but the other eye stalks remain open, looking about. Some peering out the window, others looking elsewhere. And as soon as he closes his main eye, you would see it immediately falls into REM sleep. You'd see the large eye move about as he immediately falls into what you assume is a dreamlike state. Aria would say, well, guess we'll wait. Should some of us wait inside the room, others outside?
I'll wait inside the room. I don't need to sleep. I can just sit here and be fine.
Right. Leah, do you want to take outside with me, or?
Yeah, I'll go out with you.
Right. Let us know if you need anything, Leah. Just shout. And
Yeah.
if things get too bad, maybe just wake him up.
I will.
All right.
I've got to practice. Don't worry.
Is the window still open?
The window is closed.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Where are you sitting, Lirim, in the room?
I'd say back to the door so I could see the window but also see him.
Okay. Easily done. You'd see many of the eyes would kind of look over at you as you're sitting there.
He'd wave.
That's what is Alea. Where's she? There's a little bit of a backyard that's fenced in, but it kind of immediately goes into field. Aria would say that maybe we can hide around. One of us hides around the corner while one is in the field, and she'd vote that she'd be in the field.
Okay, but be careful about splitting up around here.
All right. I'll be no more than 30 feet away from you.
Okay. We'll take the corner.
Right. It's quiet for a while. 2 hours pass. And in those 2 hours, eventually heading to 11 at night, it's cool. Odd noises. Ever so often. Sometimes you hear footsteps, Lirim, from outside the room. Then inside the room. And you would see footfalls, dust settling onto the ground on occasion. You would see, at times, you swear one of the toys in the boxes move. One of the bear's arms waving, almost as though it's coming to life on occasion. Alea,
If I to detect magic?
go for it, yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
I did.
there is a small magical aura.
Okay.
This type of magical aura is a mixture of things. It's a mixture of conjuration and illusion. And it's for all of what you're hearing, from the bear moving the arm, from the feet on the floor, it's all illusionary. All this that is occurring isn't real. Nothing's being manifested. Alea, from the outside, you would hear the occasional cow mooing. And then you recall, this place doesn't have cows. And you look about and there's no cows. At one point, you see a horse making no noise out of nowhere, rush through the field, jump over one of the fences, jump over the other through the backyard and into the next field. It doesn't move any of the crop. It doesn't interact with anything. You just see the image of it move through. It is eerie with how silent it was.
She's probably gonna have a weapon in hand.
Okay. This occurs. These small and occasional illusions, things that aren't real. And after the 2 hour point, they'd suddenly settle, calming. All of you would have hear a scratching of nail against glass.
Oh god.
Lirim, as though you were seeing the reflection of someone in a window, you would see Dr. Ocular peering down at the child, mouthing things. Roll me perception if you want to try and read his lips.
Okay, I'm immediately recasting that.
It is still illusionary. It's not real.
Fuck me.
It's partially due to the fact that it is an illusion, that it is so difficult to read, that the initial shock of seeing a man that you fought and knowing his head rolled, speaking and scratching at the window. You can hear the glass scratching, but you see no marks are left in the window. Alea, you hear window scratching and you peer around the corner, but you see nothing. Only the footprints of someone standing there in the ground. Do you do anything or you wait?
She'd walk slowly towards like the footprints.
Okay,
Did I message Alea?
go for it.
He's in the reflection.
Is he saying anything? Doing anything?
He's mouthing words. I can't make it out.
This convocation occurs. Slowly, it becomes to be less of a reflection, less transparent, and more opaque. And as it does so, Alea, as you step forward, you begin to see the outline of a person forming. At this point, Lirim, you're able to detect illusion is slowly turning to conjuration, and it's a mixture at the moment. Mostly illusion, but there's a small amount of conjuration where this Dr. Ocular reflection is.
Okay, immediately going to message her again. It's turning to conjuration.
Don't wake the child yet.
Okay.
The moment she starts to see a form, she's going to approach it a little bit faster. Dr. Ocular?
See the form's figure would turn towards you. You see this Lirim as well. A voice, though muddled, began to speak towards you. I know you, yet I do not. What a funny thing that is. I know you are too late to stop me. Zero simply needs to do what he is told, and the fish will be happy. The seers will be happy. I served a greater purpose, and now so does Zero. He just needs to listen.
What are the seers? What do they want?
Oh, the only person I would tell that is Zero.
You're dead.
Yet I'm here. You're so confident in my death, yet here I stand. What proof do you have that I'm dead? See, he begins to, the outline becoming more clear, the green eyes, the brass set of glasses gleaming in the moonlight. Aria has kind of come out ready to cast some spells, giving a nod to you, just letting you know that she's there to support. You would step away from the window, step closer. Tell me, if I'm dead, what are you going to do? Stop me.
I'll just kill you again.
Then I wouldn't be dead, would I? See, he becomes more clear.
She's gonna start pointing the... Is Mitchell still around?
Say again?
Is Admixus still around?
Um, if I recall, you have Admixus, yes? Admixus
Yeah.
is
He
still
does.
around, yeah.
She's gonna have the sword pointed at him.
This big old sword would come out. What an odd thing. Hey, look at you. For some reason I know, yet I don't know why. You've seen them. The seers. They've chosen you. Whatever the next step is, you're a part of it.
The fish in the well.
Hmm.
Is that them?
You pulled the rope up, didn't you? You heeded their call. You chose to free them.
I was trying to help someone.
They are someone, aren't they? Tell me, do you think Zero's a monster?
No,
Do you think they're monsters?
I don't know.
They're not. It's great, powerful entities. They wish to be free from their imprisonment and from their persecution. That's all they want. Freedom. Zero is the first step to that. I was not a suitable vessel. I am been maddened by what they've done, what I've seen. Zero, he can have a better understanding. He can set them free. All he needs to do is listen.
He doesn't want to listen. He's afraid of you.
He hates me. I remember this. I remember the day he stormed out and nearly killed me, calling me a monster. And I said that if there's anyone a monster, it's him for refusing to do as the seers state. He is a child of their creation.
What do the seers want? And that's my last question for you.
Freedom! I've told you this.
What?
From below, from persecution. Please. Help Zero see reason. I don't know why. Wait a moment. And you'd see he'd fade a moment. I do know why. I'm not real. See, his outline becomes thinner. None of this is, isn't it? All a part of a dream. They warned me of this. Tell me, do you intend to stop them?
Depends on what their end goal is.
I've told you. They know the future. They've seen it. They want to help us.
You have told me nothing but ramblings of a madman, and so in that case, yes, I will stop them.
I am mad. I know it. I've lost my marbles long ago. But I'm right. They are gods. They see the future. They know our course. Tell me, do you serve a higher purpose?
Kind of just looks at him confused and shakes her head.
I'm sure it's not the first time I asked. I know. I serve a higher purpose. You people can say that they have. Tell me. You act as though we've met before, but I don't remember.
We've fought. Back when you were still fully alive.
I never knew that dreams could be so powerful, behold.
You've been in my dreams as well. But in there, you're not nearly as confident.
Perhaps my weakness is showing. Perhaps they recall or don't know. You can see how confusing it all can be. But to understand it, you need to embrace the madness. Some of it just doesn't make sense. And until you do, then it will.
They're watching. So I'm not real. Is that true?
Go. You're not. Go.
Very well. You'd see these simply fade from existence. Lirim, I would say the walls were thin enough and the window was not the best, so you'd be able to hear most of what occurred.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Up. Is it over? Did we tell Dream Ocular fuck off?
Told him to go and he left.
Well, hopefully that's the last of him.
Maybe. He's convinced that Zero can do more, though. Some higher purpose bullshit gods thing.
So he was a bit of a cleric then. This Dr. Ocular.
I'd say more of a cultist.
I'd have to agree with that. Well, perhaps Zero will remember what we've done in the morning. I think we should keep watch on occasion, each of us.
Sure.
All right.
I have nothing better to do.
Who wants first watch?
I can take it.
Aria,
Yes?
I can take every watch.
Assume you want company at some point, right?
That would be nice.
And you still need to meditate at some point, too.
No, I don't.
You didn't sit for 4 hours.
I sat here and I did nothing. I'm good.
Your voice in my head tells me otherwise than nothing. You casted spells. That's not resting.
Fine. I'll sit.
Right. Leah first, then myself, then Lirim, you're on your own for the last bit.
That's okay.
Leah and Lirim, just be you two. Aria would sleep in the living room. It's up to you if you guys still want to split forces, one outside, one inside, or if you want to both be.
We could probably both stay inside now.
Yeah, get in.
Yeah. What did I do?
Hopefully got rid of him.
Not that. That fucking well. It was
Whatever
nothing.
it was.
Thought it was just a fucking dream.
You couldn't have known better.
That's what dreams are supposed to be. Dreams. When
Exactly.
the fuck did they become something else?
When cosmic deities decided to fuck with our shit.
He said that I was chosen in some manner, and why?
I don't know. I don't know.
How are you doing?
I'm not the one who just had to dispel a manifested nightmare. I'm okay.
Did the kid do anything at all?
Slept. That's it.
Good.
I hope he'll be alright.
I think he will. We just have to figure out a way to make sure that he doesn't listen to Dr. Ocular at any point. Maybe just telling him to go away would be the best thing for him.
I think if he has parents that raise him, if he's not left alone, he won't feel alone. He won't feel the need to reach out to something else.
Right.
I think you might have that here. I do, looking at Liz and Georgie, as hesitant as he may be.
Can't blame him.
I don't either.
This feels
Alea,
like
we're going to
something-
figure it out.
I know, this feels like something more.
I know.
I don't know who else is affected, what else is affected. What
We can
happened to
look
when I
into
just cared
beholders.
about myself? I miss that.
We can look into beholders and dreams and everything once we get back. We'll get a library card. Scary. We'll figure it out. And I don't know, maybe once know something.
Plutocracy and the Grove have something to do with it.
Right.
Things always seem to connect back to those two right now. Anything we do, anyone we talk to.
We'll have to head to one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Once in Marlin know the most about the plutocracy.
I'd rather not go there.
I'd rather not go there either. I'd rather ask them. Gross.
Grove would be good, but if the Lady of the Night gets away and she returns there. Take it one day at a time.
One day.
Need to find my cure. Go back home. Maybe it'll all be gone by then. Nothing but mad ramblings.
One day at a time. We'll be okay.
Do you think you should give a heads up to leave? Maybe find information on beholders. Seems to have extensive access to information.
When he sendings me next, I probably could, yeah. But he's so busy right now. A lot is happening.
A six excuse.
I don't know. He's doing his best with what he has. Yes, he told me that the Aether's they're considering dropping floating islands and airships and stuff in the Fremont, so
What?
yeah.
Oh, wait. What?
The Aether's considering
Dropping.
sending floating cities.
Okay.
Yeah, into just basically trying to take it over, so he's a bit tied up at the moment trying to make that not happen, I think.
Fun for him.
Oh, I'm sure. He loves those people. Don't worry about me. Worry about yourself.
I am, but I can still worry about others. Especially those who are just trying to help me with my shit. Believe it or not, you are useful to me right now and a very good ally. I
What?
like to keep you safe.
What? I thought you were plotting my murder this whole time. I'm hurt.
Sorry to disappoint.
It's okay.
The
You would have at
bounty
least
on
done
your
it
head
right.
isn't big enough.
Ugh. So rude to me. Can't believe it. Now stop bitching at me and go to sleep.
Okay, fine.
Right.
She'd go wake up Aria and switch off.
Aria'd wake up. She'd say, "So how was it?" Be to you, Lirim.
Me? Oh shit.
That's okay.
It was good.
You enjoyed your private time with Alea.
Did you almost say Aria?
I almost said A names.
Yeah, you're speaking of yourself in the third person.
I know I'm narcissistic, but you know what I mean.
It was fine. She's worried. I'm worried.
Ugh,
Just been...
I should paint that picture. I really should.
What?
As I was tying up the horses, as you guys were standing underneath the shade of the tree, the beautiful rolling hills behind you, the sun above, the clouds in the distance, genuine heart to heart. Ugh! Pulled on my bard's heartstrings and made me want to make a song of it. Truly.
Why do you only attack me? Why do you only attack me?
Because it's fun. You tease others so much, why can't I tease you?
I do not tease others.
Oh, bullshit. Oscu has been victimized in every sense of the word. Kara as well, with the Prince of Dacia.
No, I didn't say
You've
anything
even done
that
it
was
with
untrue.
Ali. You've also done it. You've done it with everyone. Now that I think about it,
Not
Alea
you.
even. Well, I wonder why. You've actually done the opposite. Anytime there's a situation of me flirting with someone, you're immediately against it. I
I
would
was the
say
reason that guy pissed his pants, by the way.
Which guy?
You know the guy that called you a crude name?
Right.
He pissed his pants.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
But my point being is you tease others, so if you can't, what is it? If you dish it, if you can't deal with it, don't dish it.
Oh, I'm sorry that I've... Look, Mr. Oscu, could we bring Marvin along? Can we please bring Please.
And Kara, and Alea, and back at
Okay.
Marlin again.
Marlin is my estranged ex-fiance and he deserves it.
Mhm. Alea and that one lady. Forget
Well,
her name.
perhaps I did that because she was stressed and she
Mhm.
said that would make her not stressed.
I know what else would make her not stressed.
I'm going to kill you.
I'm
I will
just
do
saying.
it.
Listen,
I've killed before.
a lovely date. There's nothing wrong with it if you both expect nothing from it. Why not?
Why are you so determined that I like her?
Why are you so determined that you don't like her?
Because I'm not looking at the moment. I'm literally playing dead.
Again,
And I am dead.
how often is she on your mind? Ah, the silence. So telling.
Not grin.
I can't help it.
Even if I did.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I never have before. Ever.
Have to start somewhere.
And second of all, it would be disastrous.
Why is that?
Regardless, she has made it very clear that one, she doesn't do things like that. Doesn't want things like that.
She doesn't know what she wants.
And regardless of what happens, all she wants is her cure and to go home. No matter what.
Makes sense.
And no matter what, I'm going to end up across the continent in a different bubble.
Well, this is all hypothetical.
Right. Hypothetically, if I did, I would not set myself up for failure in such a way. I'd rather not be horrendously rejected in front of you, and then you have to write a sad song about it.
I would not write a rejection based on your experiences.
You wouldn't write a hit new single about a dead princess getting rejected by someone.
You think your failed love affair would touch the heartstrings of all?
It's not a failed love affair. There is no love. There is no affair.
All right. If you want, I'll shut out. Ugh, I can speak English. I will shut up
Common,
about
you
it.
mean?
Common, sorry. I will shut up about it. And you'll have to do promise back to me.
What?
No, it's impossible for you. Never mind.
Were you going to tell me not to tease people?
No, I was going to say stop giving Alea that look.
What the fuck does that mean?
Anyway.
No, what does that mean? What does that mean?
She wouldn't say much back.
You can't just say the look and then not say anything after that. When I ask what does that mean, please elucidate.
You look at her lovingly.
Are you telling me to do that? Because
no,
you said
I'm saying you are. You are looking at her lovingly.
I don't look at people. Actually, I find all faces quite atrocious.
You have studied her face.
I've not.
Do you draw, write songs?
No.
I think you're lying. I think you've told me you've sung before. She'll insight you if you really want her to.
Fuck.
She's not the best at it. Right,
yes.
fine. You're not.
Yes.
You're not as talented as myself, then.
You said my voice was nice once.
It's not a singing voice, apparently.
I can sing-ish.
Ah, so you do know. And you lied to me.
I
thought-
said I thought it was implied, do I sing or draw pictures of her, which I do not.
I recall you doing such great sketches and details for once. Correct
I
me if
don't
I'm wrong.
recall. I really don't recall that.
I disagree.
They'd
Anyway.
hold their journal a little bit closer to them.
Ah, defensive. Well, I won't pry any more. We have actual business to take care of.
Why do you only bully me? Why don't you bully her?
Because,
Does she scare you? Are you scared of her?
yes,
I have killed people. I am scary.
it's a bit more intimidating when she has rippling muscles and a sword that can cut my head off. With a
I could
spell, I
poke-
can see it coming.
Okay, I could poke you very hard with this rapier.
I don't doubt it. A bit more afraid of a sword.
Sword.
Hmm?
This is a sword.
It's a rapier. It's a type of sword.
Yes.
It's a pokey sword, not a swingy sword.
At least equal opportunity if you're going to bully me so much.
Maybe. I'll think on it.
Fine. Go to bed.
Right. Yeah. She would
I'm
continue to
being
keep watch.
antagonized again.
We do not continue with Lirim's watch.
No,
There's-
yeah, Lirim's Lirim's just looking.
There are these occasional occurrences for you, Lirim, of manifestations, strange noises, but nothing out of the ordinary. Alea,
God damn it.
as you dream, it feels like you are being pulled upwards. Like someone is lifting your soul out of your body. You're ripped upwards, and you see two glowing eyes staring down at you as they do it. Immediately, as you are tugged upwards, you look about and you're standing on the roof of the place you're keeping watch in. The face in front of you is that of an octopus, whose eyes staring at you. The face is deep, um, deep in machinations and the sense of there's a lot of grooves to them. They have 4 tendrils. Their skin is white and pasty. And they make immediately a hush motion with one of their fingers, which is elongated with a sharp nail. They stand to be maybe 7 feet tall. Their head is bulbous and long. They wear a long draped black cloak. And they whisper to you. Their voice is deep and echoing on occasion. We must be silent. Is this understood?
She'll nod.
Looks relieved. There are on few occasions the others are not here, and I can speak so freely. Such an opportunity is truly a blessing. You might be wondering who I am.
Yeah.
I'm a seer. I'm one of the fish and one of the eyes watching. If that makes any sense to you, I have no idea.
Why does he get to talk and I don't?
Well, does it?
I mean, I've run into those things.
Well, I am one of the manifestations of those things. I'm the actual thing. I'm
Were
one
you
of the
one of the things I
seers.
pulled out of the fucking well?
Yes, you answered our call. It appears in many different ways and different machinations, but it is a cry for help. It's misguiding and misleading. Listen, my compatriots are not the best. I will assure you this. Beholders are dangerous, egotistical, and tyrannical. You don't know what an
It's
aboleth...
better.
Because I do not seek the destruction of your people. That I don't even know what the beholder wants, really. It's all rather complicated. How do I start?
The destruction of my what? I don't
Your
have.
people, humanity,
Why?
dwarves. What do you mean why? Why what?
Why destruction? Why?
Because you killed 3 of their kind a few decades, no, not decades, centuries ago, yes.
Wasn't me. That wasn't most of people here.
Topsiders are all the same to us. You're a strange lot, and we bid you unworthy of our presences, except the 3 of us. That sounds very egotistical. Let me put that a different way. Our societies bid you uninteresting in your ways unnatural, the ways of magic, and ways of which I choose to study. I wish to understand magic, and because of that, I was ostracized from my society. You don't have any idea what I am. I am an illithid, a mind flayer. That is far too complicated to even begin to explain. There's another creature known as the Aboleth. He's one of the other seers that works for us, or works with us.
Beholder, Illithid, and Aboleth?
Yes. Again, I do not
Can
know.
I have a name?
The name we hold are long and complicated. You can call me Rillikalak, or just Rill for short.
Will, thank you.
Not Will, Rill with an R.
Rill, sorry. Rillikalak. Okay.
Rillikawak.
I'm not even going to. I just make it worse.
Very well. You are Alea. It's a pleasure to speak with you. Listen. It's all rather complicated. Okay. The Aboleth wishes to enslave people from above because he was a slave himself to his own people. The Beholder... I don't know what the Beholder wants. They're seeking to come topside for some reason, whether to be gain power to some degree or to be free of the other Beholders in their ways, I don't know. I simply wish to seek and understand and learn the ways of magic and to be free from the persecution of my own society. We're outcasts. We're wise, and we, technically speaking, know many things that would be difficult to understand, but we are outcast from our society, and we seek refuge. We don't seek to unleash all aberrations from beneath onto your world. We wish ourselves just for freedom. That's all.
And destruction.
No, maybe the Beholder, but not myself and the Aboleth. The Aboleth wishes to enslave others, but I wish to be free. That's all I wish for. We all held the common goal of getting up here, and we can't. And the only way we can communicate with you all is through your dreams. But dreams, strangely enough for your kind, are strange like Beholders. They're odd and abstract. Tell me, what do you wish to know? I've told you full well of my case and my situation. We do not have much time to speak before the others arrive, and they wish for me to remain mysterious, as they wish for us to be godlike entities. But I don't give 2 shits about being a godlike entity. I want to be free from the hell that is the underground.
Okay. You say you know very little about the Beholder business?
I don't know what he wants, but I understand his kind quite well.
Dr. Ocular.
What of him?
The shit with all of that, this fucking omen prophecy, I don't fucking know.
Ugh, the omen.
With
Don't
the
get me
sky
started.
falling and the tree falling and the...
He created his own abstract way of discussing it because he's a madman, or was a madman. Thank you for killing him. I was tired of dealing with him.
So none of that will come to be?
It's a possibility. Beholders, they have an outstandingly amazing mind. They're able to accurately predict thousands of possibilities and know the most likely outcomes. We've heard of the Lady of the Night situation, and the Beholder, with all the information we gathered, realized it's quite likely for it to occur. Airships falling, the air yard crashing, that whole deal. That's what the flying fish in a great tree tumbling. The great tree represented the air yard. Silly man. What else was that whole machinations?
When the fish of the sky fall, is that you 3? You're not in the sky.
No, I told you just now it was the airships.
It's the airships. So the city of selfishness will reign.
I assume you're aware of the convergence for your kind.
Yes.
Okay. Then you know of this already. That is what that means, the convergence.
Now I'm confused.
What do you mean? The entities of self. They're going to come together and create a city of selfishness, egotism.
Okay, that's not what I... Okay.
You call them, slack creatures. You call them
What?
symbiotes, skinwalkers, those sort of things. Those are the entities of self. Those are the essences of self. You know of the essences, yes?
Is that what I fucking carry?
What? Oh, your shit. I don't know.
Oh,
Is it a slack creature?
from slack addiction, it's a long story. I'm supposed to be dead. I'm not.
Listen, we don't have much more time. I can already hear the abolithum talking up his way up the tower. So, here's what I'm going to need you to do.
Okay.
When you dream of an octopus, it's me. I am the octopus, okay?
Okay.
Follow the octopus away from the others, right?
Okay.
All right. That's how we're going to be able to communicate. If the others...
I communicate with you and no one else in my party can.
Because you were selected for the well dream again.
Why?
The other two wish to do things in a mystical manner to appear godlike, so that way when our arrival occurs, you treat us like gods, otherworldly entities. It's all a lie.
You picked one of the least smartest people, and I am only going to be confused going forward.
Ah, well, I wasn't for. This whole plan was the Beholder's idea. And it's working, I will admit to him. But I don't know. Possibilities are too crazy. You understand Beholders? Well, how much do your people know?
No, I know jack shit, and the most we knew was that maybe underground, pretty bad, avoid, if ever run into, would never run into.
I'm going to explain this quickly so that I can assist you, because Beholders are a dangerous entity and I don't want your civilization to fall to them. So, Dr. Ocular was supposed to make a hybrid between a beholder and a human. He was successful.
That's 0.
That is 0. 0 dreamt. The way beholders reproduce are through dreams. They dreamed of themselves in different situations, in different means, in different realities, and another beholder is born. Does that make sense? Do you follow?
Your words make sense. That idea and that ability does not, but continue.
They're, again, otherworldly. We are otherworldly
Sure.
entities. We come from different worlds. Our worlds
Right.
collided, if you recall.
Yes, yes.
So, currently, we believe a death kiss beholder was created, as well as a gazer. The other 0 you are currently dealing with, he's a gazer. He's a type of lesser beholder entity, a copy of the original 0, but not the same.
With the instrument.
Yes. The current 0, he used to be a bot. We assumed that the mind would be more valuable to us, but humans, they have a great will to them, which we didn't truly expect because Dr. Ocular's will was so weak. 0, the original 0, mind you, is much stronger, but he is slowly falling to our tendencies. And much as I would like to be free, I would not like to be free with those 2 other idiots.
I don't think you get to pick and choose from what it sounds like.
I have to work with them for now because we have the common interest, but I'm currently using them, and they currently think that they're using me, but they're in the wrong. I'm the mastermind of this current operation. Anyway, I do have to go.
You
I will
sure
put you
about
back to
that?
sleep. Yes, I know I'm cocky, but I have to be to keep myself sane. Good luck on your venture. Good luck in stopping 0 and this new other beholder. Kill them and maybe kill this child due to the fact that he could
That's
create
not happening.
All right, fine. Deal with your your possible end of your civilization. I wish to work with you. He is a child, so I understand. We don't have children where I'm from, but I know humans have a sentimental kind of deal with children. I don't fully understand it.
It's just an oath. It's a thing. I don't kill kids.
I do have to go. Good luck. And immediately, you're grabbed and you're shoved downwards through the roof back into your body, and you wake up during
What
Lirim's
the
watch.
fuck?
C0 would wake up. Whilst Lirim, you'd look over.
Okay, Zero, go back to bed.
Go back to bed.
He's sleepy when
Good
he
night.
closes his eyes.
Good night.
Lyra would walk over to Alea. Are you okay?
I met a fish, an octopus.
I should note, it was only his head that was like an
Yeah.
octopus. The rest is
Yeah,
okay.
no, I got that with the fingers and stuff.
Gotcha.
Could you walk me through that?
Okay. So, 3 fish,
Mm-hmm.
beholder,
Uh-huh.
something called an aboleth, and something
Aboleth.
called an illithid.
Do I know
Illithid,
what any of these are, Noah?
Nope. You know of beholders, but you know nothing of illithids and nothing of aboleths.
Brooke is internally screaming. Fantastic.
illithid, we're going to continue from this point forward calling Rill.
Real. Okay.
Don't ask me for the full name. I don't know. Their seers, fish eyes equals their seers, and Rill just wants to learn magic, understand magic from like the kind that we have here.
Okay.
The aboleth wants to enslave people because they were once enslaved.
I don't love that. Okay.
Beholder wishes to come to topside. Rill doesn't really know why. Probably not
Oh.
good reason. Potentially end of humanity.
Okay, let's not facilitate that.
They're all outcasts. They want freedom. And Rill is confident that he is the one in charge and he's confident that the others think they're in charge when he's actually, I feel like he can't do fucking shit. So, oh, and they can only talk to us through dreams. And if
Okay.
at any point, I don't think you will, but if at any point anyone sees an octopus in the dream, just follow it. I fucking guess.
Okay.
Also, did say the Lady of the Night shit was probably majority of the prophecy.
Oh, look at that. We did it.
And also the City of Selfishness was a convergence of entities of self, like symbiotes
Like
and
what the
stuff,
memes were
creatures.
saying when we did the bakery thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or like what my echo might be.
Did you ask Mr. Octopus Face Man?
I did, and he said, I don't fucking know, and I don't fucking care, basically, so...
Well, he sucks.
The beholders can reproduce through dreams.
And okay, that makes sense.
The zero with the instrument is a bard, and this zero is a copy, a lesser beholder apparently, a gazer.
A gazer, okay.
No fucking clue what that means. And there's another one known as Death Kiss. He kind of just said that and then moved past it like it was nothing.
I don't know the name of that at all. Okay. So we can do some research. I doubt there's going to be much.
He also did not like Dr. Ocular.
Okay, well, relatable.
Apparently, Dr. Ocular is just a madman and just a lot of things didn't make sense.
Okay, so
Also, beholders are very smart and capable of a lot, but very dangerous, which I think we can kind of really piece together.
yes. I think the best we can do is let everyone know.
She would look at you with like probably for the first time you've seen like genuine fear. This is
Okay.
above my pay grade.
I know. But no matter what, you're going to make it through it. I promise you that. Between the two of us, one of us is dying first, and it's going to be me, alright?
No, don't say that.
It's going to be me, because I'm going to make
That's
sure.
besides the point. It doesn't.
I'm just saying you won't be harmed. And this responsibility that you think you have, it's not just yours.
I
It's
don't know if
mine
it's
too.
responsibility. It's just more of I don't fucking know what's happening. This is way over my head in every sense. I don't know shit like you do.
What did we say before? Day at a time.
Right?
If you think of it all now, all it'll do is consume you. You are so fucking strong. You made it through the lowlands, you made it through not knowing what was going on with your echo, and we're figuring that out. That was above your pay grade, was it not? We'll figure this out too. You are so much more capable than you realize.
One day at a time. You're right about
Day
that.
at a time.
I think I might just stay up for a little bit longer if that's okay.
Let me know if you need anything, okay?
And well,
They'd kind of knock their shoulder against yours. You're okay.
oh, she'd lean against theirs.
You're okay.
Assume you guys were keeping watch even still?
Yeah.
Right? Day would eventually come. See, I would say both the parents, Liz and Georgie, would get up kind of bright and early as soon as the sun rises. Start making dinner and everything. Zero would kind of be the first to wake. Liz would say, "Everyone doing all right? Do you want me to get you some breakfast?"
Mm.
Breakfast would be absolutely lovely. Though
Zero.
please don't make toast. Something seems to always go wrong when Alea sees toast.
That's not. No. That was
All right.
also another dream. That was just a bad timing.
All right. I'd say Zero would get up.
Liz,
Yes, Zero?
good morning.
Good morning.
Stopped ocular.
Oh, they did what?
Stopped ocular.
They point over at Alea. Oh, well, that's fantastic. They'd ask,
Are dreams real?
They're just dreams.
So they're not real?
They're not real, Zero. They're just dreams. And if any dream bothers you, like how Dr. Ocular was, you just tell them to go away.
Okay, thank you.
nod, and begin to float up, very groggy like, and they begin to float towards breakfast table. Aria would say, "Nothing bad happened on your guys' watches?
Not on the watch, no.
Bad dream?
Weird dream, not even bad, just weird.
We'll talk about it on the ride back, alright?"
Yeah.
Made a new friend. I love friends.
It's good. Say, you'd all
Baby girl.
join a hearty meal. You'd see, everyone's eating, I would say, a bit more polite than dinner. And Georgie would say, Well, is everything resolved? These dreams, Dr. Ocular's been chased off, and he won't be coming back.
They're not real.
Yeah.
Say that again?
Dreams aren't real.
Oh, well, news to me. They smile.
Everything will be okay.
I don't know why I feel so ominous hearing the kids say
Yeah.
that.
Dreams aren't real.
Yeah.
It'll all
Well-
be okay.
I'm happy to hear it. Thank you folks for coming out again, and feel free to stop by any time. I think Zero made some new friends today.
Friends.
Mm-hmm. Friends.
Well, thank you for having us. And Zero, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Metal.
Metal.
You want me to try and play some metal music, hmm?
Yeah.
It's not my forte, but I'll give it a go. I'm gonna give her disadvantage on a performance check.
Do it. Oh.
Yeah.
What
It's
a
pretty good.
beautiful dime.
Natural 20.
She does her best to just do some kind of heavy riffs as hard as she can on her lute, and he seems entertained. It's the first heavy metal music
Oh.
he's heard in a long time.
That was good.
Why, thank you, Zero. I think I've taken a liking to you.
Thanks. I like you.
Thank you.
Okay. We
Okay.
should probably start heading out.
Right.
Come back anytime now, y'all.
Of course.
Sure.
Thank
It
you.
was lovely
again.
meeting you all.
You as well.
Goodbye, Zero.
Goodbye, Zero.
Goodbye, Zero.
Goodbye, Zero.
Lirim would give him a bow. You are a lovely friend.
See, they do the same, and the eyes would follow.
You are a lovely friend.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Great big boy.
You guys would head on out. And that's where we're gonna call it.